It's showtime!
Hey, what is going on, guys? I am ChronoMurder15.
And I'm Ray.
And welcome to a new series of Game Bros, where, first off, before we get today's episode started off, I wanted to make a few things clear. So, in the next few episodes we're going to be recording, we're doing something a little different. Ray and I are actually not sitting next to each other.
No, we're doing this more or less virtually. I have a way to set it up so that we can be watching the game live together and do our commentary so that I don't get sick from crow's ick.
Yeah, that's the second thing. I have currently been fighting either a sinus infection or some type of cold. So if I sound a little under the weather during these next episodes, that's why. It's not that I'm not thrilled about the game, because I'm actually thrilled about what we're getting ready to play. We're gonna Ray's gonna be playing a DLC quest.
Yeah, while we were testing things out to see if this would even work, I was booting up a couple different games from my own Steam library, trying to think of some games that we could do this way. Well, some that, even if they're resource taxing on my computer, would still be like decent enough to record. And I was showing him a few of these, such as One Way Heroics and DLC Quest. And DLC Quest, just, we didn't stop laughing. I mean, I've played and beaten it before, but the replay value for this game for me is just so freaking high.
And I've actually never, excluding the little bit that you showed me last night, I've never played or seen this game before. Like, I'd heard of it, but I had never seen any actual gameplay or anything of it. So when you showed this to me, I'm like, oh my god, we have to do this for the show.
Yeah, you kind of fell in love with how stupid it is.
It really is, and it kind of coincides with some stuff we'll be talking about, how particularly I feel about DLC and that kind of stuff.
So I'll go ahead and start game, and the basis of this game is actually incredibly, it's so simple, it's funny. But you'll see real quickly, there's a reason it's called DLC Quest. So this is literally the entire introduction is this.
This essentially makes Super Mario Bros. Look like a novel.
It really does. The simplicity of it. And then your horse just standing behind you facing the wrong way.
Motivation. This is why you play the game.
So I am going to be skipping through a lot of the dialogue and explaining it instead. So first thing you should note is I'm actually pushing left. You can't move left. You can only move to the right first. You can't jump or anything. And there's no sound because we don't have the DLC. So we have to buy the DLC to move. And now that we have that, we can move left, right, and jump. So now that we can move left, right, and jump, we have to collect more coins. So we can buy even more DLC. So we can get more things. Oh, I just picked up some more DLC.
Armor for your horse.
Yep. And if I talk to him, he will let me get a sword. But I have to hit the grindstone 10,000 times. But that's going to take so long that I'm going to just go get some more DLC. But we're not done with that yet. Nope. Because I'm going to see how far I can go without getting any more DLC.
Oh, God.
Because that's how you do that. That's how you do this. It's like, I don't want to get more DLC, but you need more DLC. Like, I can do a lot of it without getting the movement animation pack. It's just the movement animation pack makes it so much nicer to look at.
Yeah. Now, what is your personal opinion on actual video game DLC?
So it depends on why it's DLC. If it's DLC because it wasn't it wasn't done in time for the original game, to me that kind of rubs me the wrong way. It's like, why didn't you then just delay the game and include it in the original game? But if it's something like it's complete add-on content, for instance, in the Dark Souls, if the DNC is an entirely new chapter that you can go through with the Dark Souls universe. And so that kind of stuff, I'm okay with that, and it's mostly because that's entirely new content for you to go and explore. But when it's just stuff that really should have been included in the game, like weapons or just gear, not really any extra story content, then it kind of loses real value, and I generally won't get it.
Yeah. Now, the biggest thing with DLC with me personally is whenever I get DLC, I'm kind of a sucker for extra characters on fighting games,
Mm-hmm.
which I can see both sides of it. It kind of sucks because back in the day, before DLC was even considered a thing, how would you get more characters? Well,
Mm-hmm.
you unlock them.
Yep.
They were
And
hidden behind certain criteria that you had to meet. Now, a lot of games still do that though. Say for example, the latest Super Smash Bros. Game. Yeah, there are going to
mm-hmm.
be DLC characters, but the majority of the characters that you unlocked in the game were due to certain circumstances you had to meet.
Yep. Now, when it comes to games like extra characters, when it's something that the game is designed around, then in that case, it's in my book it's okay. Like for instance, paying a little bit to get a character that's not normally in the universe in Super Smash Bros. is fine. That's why I bought Cloud.
Joker.
But right, but it's like if I'm playing Super Smash Bros. And it's like, oh, you pay $10 and you get Peach, then that's gonna piss me off because it's like, Peach is part of the original Super Smash Bros. Lineup, so
Right.
why shouldn't she be in the original game? But that's just my preference on things like that.
Yeah, another thing I will say that prompts me more to get characters is if they don't have a significant part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's say for example we're talking about Mortal Kombat, which there is a new one coming out pretty soon,
Mm-hmm.
which we will be doing an episode on.
Yeah.
But
You mean you're gonna kick my ass on another episode of?
well, don't worry, I'll give you plenty of time to practice. So
That's usually like
this this
15
way,
minutes.
it at least looks like you have a standing chance.
I'm gonna go ahead and get the pause menu animation and audio packs just so that there's a little bit more flavor to it.
But if the character doesn't have a significant part in the story, I don't mind buying an extra character because I don't feel like I'm having to pay for more story.
Mm-hmm.
A great example of that was Ashura's Wrath, because technically the true ending of the game was locked away by DLC.
Now, real quick, just because I love this part, you get the DLC for Psychological Warfare Pack to kill this cameo character here. And when you come up to it, instead of actually using it against him, he's like, oh, cool, so you have that DLC. Can I have it? And so you trade him, you give him the DLC, and he leaves you alone. Oh, come on, I know I can. There we go. But it's just that when it comes to actual DLC content, it honestly it depends on the game. Like if the game is like a cash cow already for a company, then DLC, why? And then there's also the whole thing of like season passes. And if you plan on getting all the DLC anyway, then a season pass while it's usually cheaper in the long run, it's like, or instead of having this season pass and all this DLC, maybe actually complete the damn game.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of understand where you're coming from, but it might also be the fact of it's like the characters or the scenarios that are DLC are kind of an afterthought.
But then again, at least at that point the story's complete. I'm talking like when the story leaves you at too much of a cliffhanger,
Oh,
and
no,
the
no, 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 no.
DLC is like it's not enough to be considered a second game, so they make it a DLC. It's like no, you
Oh,
flesh it out, you make it a second game, and you'll get more money that way. But these companies are too stupid to realize that they'd have a lot stronger of a fan base and player base if they actually released completed games instead of being DLC. They would make it market as a second game.
yeah, true, but you also, I guess the company has realized that there are going to be those people that will get it no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! Speaking of which, this actually is relevant. True Blue and I were talking back during Classic Plastics, because he's a big
Mm-hmm.
fighting game fan like I am. He's into Super Smash Brothers, all those games.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dead or Alive 6 just released
Right.
about a week or so ago, and there is a season pass. Would you like
Oh
to know
jeez.
how much this season pass costs?
Sure.
$92.99. It is more
Why?
expensive than the game itself.
But why?
From what I saw, there's supposed to be like extra characters, tons and tons and tons of different costumes, more stages, but just the amount that they were asking for a freaking season pass was ridiculous. I mean, when you're like I said, when you're paying more for a season pass than you are the freaking game, there's something wrong.
Yeah, something seems a bit backwards. I don't know. I don't remember why I killed the sheep, but I know I'd just do it.
Didn't you say like there was an achievement or something for it?
If I remember correctly, there is one, but I mean, I don't remember.
It's been too long.
It really has. I forgot to kill this one. I was over here earlier.
No, you want to know why you're killing sheep?
Why?
They've been bad.
Out. just get out.
Hey, come on, man. That's the first pun I've made this episode. So
Keyword this episode. You've made plenty of puns in recent history that just deserve you to be smacked.
Hey, listen. With me feeling as bad as I have the past few days, I deserve at least one.
Okay, but that's your one.
Okay.
I know there's a ledge
This
there
episode.
somewhere. Ugh. You are hopeless.
Oh, I know.
Okay. And now I have a top hat. Oh.
Okay, there's a good question for you. Would you do DLC for cosmetics?
Depending on what the cosmetics are, and if they give bonuses. If they give bonuses, then at that point it becomes another one of the things that I almost absolutely hate, which is pay to win.
Oh yeah, that's
But if it's like bonuses to low levels, but not really like purposeful in the long run. For example, Final Fantasy 14. A lot of the friendship circlet stuff, it gives you bonuses until you're level 20, which isn't really that big a bonus after that. So it really just boils down to, do you like the aesthetic to keep it later, or are you using it to boost your characters up for that couple of levels?
right.
And those kind of things I'm fine with, because you're not really able to use them later on unless you want to be in a significant deficit. But like cosmetic stuff, if I had to pay to be able to be a certain character race, that all boils down to, well, is it a race that I like? Is it something I've been wanting? I'm okay with that because I'm paying to look the way I want.
Right.
And that kind of stuff, it's not necessarily DLC in my book, but it's add-on content that is optional. DLC for me is additional parts of the game or additional storyline arcs that would be gone through.
Yeah. Kind of go along with the whole Final Fantasy thing, like Final Fantasy 15 when they did their episode DLCs.
Mm-hmm.
Which, honestly, they're really good.
Oh yeah, and DLC can be good. I mean, a lot of DLC for a lot of the mainstream games really is, but just still.
I'll tell you a really fun free DLC. It's like, that's what we're going to be talking about this whole series is DLC shit.
I mean, probably.
But a recent one that actually came out that I actually really enjoyed that's actually free, this cosmetic, is for the Resident Evil 2 remake. You can actually get DLC to make Leon and Claire look like their original 1998 models.
Oh wow.
And play through
that kind of stuff.
Play through the entire game like that.
See, that kind of stuff, I can see there being a draw for it. It's not something that is required and part of the original game, but it's something that avid players of the game would still want because it brings back the nostalgia factor. I mean, if there was a released version of the new and updated Final Fantasy 6, and there was a DLC that it made it look like the classic original game, I'd be all over that because I love the original sprites and I kind of hate the new ones.
Yeah, there's actually an RPG that's supposed to be coming out sometime soon. I don't know. I think it's the new. I can't remember what it is. I think it's the new Dragon Quest, but I can't remember. But It's got like it has the 3D graphics and stuff like that, but it gives you an option to switch to 16-bit graphics.
Ooh.
And I was like, that's kind of a cool feature.
I'll
Alrighty, guys.
tell you one game I was...
well,
well, real quick.
go ahead.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing I was really happy of was when I first played Octopath Traveler, how it was the classic retro-style 16-bit graphics. That was a real nice thing to see.
Yeah, I remember you showing me that one day, and it looks really good. I still need to play that.
Hey, maybe we'll have to play it together sometime.
Yes.
But like you're about to say, that's all the time we have for these episodes.
Yep. Anyway, guys, we will see you next time.
Hey guys, this is Core Murder 15. Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification to stay up to date with all of our videos. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to share it with a friend. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.